The Indiana Fever are planning to ship Caitlin Clark to the Los Angeles Sparks. I expect UCLA coach Corey Close to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Sparks. Corey Close, after that championship game that she won with the UCLA Bruins, she's been very adamant. She's been very upfront. Yeah, all this transfer portal stuff, I'm not really sure if I want to deal with.
There may be more happening inside the Indiana Fever locker room than people are willing to admit publicly. A few days ago, a video of Caitlin Clark sitting on the bench looking frustrated quickly spread across social media. Head coach Stephanie White walked over to Clark, spoke with her, and then told Raven Johnson to take Clark's seat. Clark shook her head, and the situation appeared tense. Teammate Kelsey Mitchell also leaned in as everything unfolded on camera. Before going further, it's important to note that both Clark and White later spoke to the media and said there was no issue. White said it was not a story, and Clark explained that they are simply two competitive people who both want to win. Still, some fans were left wondering. When people publicly emphasize that there is no conflict, it can sometimes make others curious about whether there's more going on behind the scenes than they are willing to discuss.
This might be the craziest Caitlin Clark rumor yet. A growing rumor says the Indiana Fever could trade Caitlin Clark to the Los Angeles Sparks. No credible reports have confirmed it, but the fact that people are even discussing it shows how frustrated some fans are with the Fever right now.
But what happened next is what really got people talking. Reports began circulating about a private meeting behind the scenes. Then came trade rumors. Soon after, a former NBA champion added fuel to the fire by claiming on social media that Indiana wanted to move on from Clark. So what is actually going on? Are these real signs of tension inside the organization? Or is this simply another case of social media turning a routine disagreement into a major controversy? That's the question everyone is trying to answer right now. Let's take a closer look at the facts, separate the rumors from reality, and see what may really be happening behind the scenes in Indiana.
So that's nothing new, but I just think everyone expects us to leave off of where we were last year. And yes, we have some of the same players as last year, but we also have so many new players that are playing huge minutes for us. And I think it just takes a second to, get rhythm and chemistry and trust each other. I think this is very normal team things, but we have to do it sooner than later. It's everyone's a little frustrated with how we're playing because we all know we're better than it. But I think sometimes you need this type of stuff in order to get to the root of the problem of whatnot. And then this is when
Sophie Cunningham recently revealed on a podcast that the Fever held what she described as a long team meeting after back-to-back losses. She did not go into detail about what was discussed, but the fact that it was a lengthy meeting naturally caught people's attention. After all, teams usually hold those kinds of meetings when they are trying to solve problems, address frustrations, or get everyone back on the same page. That is where the story becomes more interesting. On one hand, the message coming from inside the Fever organization has been consistent. The team has maintained that everything is fine, that Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White respect each other, and that the group is continuing to grow together. Sophie Cunningham also tried to frame the meeting in a positive way, suggesting it was about improving and moving forward. On the other hand, the timing of the meeting has led some fans and media members to wonder whether there may be challenges behind the scenes that the team is working through. While there's no clear evidence of a major conflict, the combination of losses, viral moments, and public speculation has kept the conversation alive.
Steph and Cece are two very competitive people who just want to win. And sometimes you bump heads. But it was all out of good intent of wanting the same thing. And at the end of the day, we were not playing good. I'm not condoning her actions. I think there's room to grow in how you respond to things, but she would say the same thing, and her and Steph are fine. And, that's their relationship. And, later that night or the next morning, they hugged it out and they talked about it. When you are in high competitive situations, pretty much 4 days out of the week, stuff is going to happen. But like I said, our stuff is just under a microscope, and everything you do, everything you say is going to be a highlight reel for somebody. And I think media loves to create division where there's not always division.
According to Sophie Cunningham, Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark are simply two highly competitive people who both want to win. It was probably the most careful and diplomatic answer she could have given. What stood out, however, was that she did not describe their relationship as perfect. Instead, she emphasized that they share the same goal, even if they do not always agree on everything. That is not unusual in professional sports, especially when expectations are high and every result is under a microscope. Some observers see that as a sign of tension. Others see it as a normal coach-player relationship between two strong personalities. Either way, it suggests that there may be disagreements at times. Even if both sides are working toward the same objective, in a difficult season, those disagreements can attract even more attention. Every game is analyzed, every interaction is recorded, and every viral clip becomes a talking point on social media within minutes. For now, the Fever's public message remains consistent. The team is united, Clark and White respect each other, and everyone is focused on winning. But as speculation continues to grow, fans will keep watching closely to see whether the story matches what happens on the court.
That would mean so much to me. Michael Thompson comes out and says, I'm hearing from a reliable source, the Fever don't want Caitlin no more. Sparks, go get her now. And unless he comes out and says he's trolling, I'm taking this as face value. I'm taking this as serious. I'm not taking this as clickbait at all. I do believe he has reliable sources. I do believe he has sources within the WNBA. I do believe he has sources within the Los Angeles Sparks. And I do believe it's been floated by him the same way that things have been floated by Dan Dockage. I believe it's been floated by Michael Thompson. Yeah, they're not too fond of
the basketball world lit up on June 3rd when Michael Thompson, the longtime Lakers radio analyst and father of NBA star Klay Thompson, posted a surprising message on X that this was not coming from an anonymous social media account. Thompson is a well-known basketball figure with decades of experience around the NBA and strong connections throughout the sport. Because of that, many fans immediately paid attention to what he was saying. The situation became even bigger when Thompson appeared to double down, posting that he had heard the Indiana Fever were tired of Caitlin Clark and asking whether others had heard the same thing. Those comments quickly spread across social media and sparked intense debate. Fans, media members, and analysts began discussing whether there was any truth behind the rumors or whether they were simply unverified speculation. Soon afterward, reports emerged pushing back against the claims. Sources close to the situation insisted there was no truth to rumors that the Fever were looking to move Clark or that she was available in any type of deal. But by that point, the conversation had already taken on a life of its own. That is often how sports rumors work. Once a question is raised publicly, people begin looking at every interaction, every press conference, and every viral moment through a different lens. Even when denials are issued, many fans continue searching for clues that support their own theories. As a result, what may have started as a single social media post quickly turned into a much larger debate about the Fever, Caitlin Clark, and what is really happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier today, and I think that was like one of my first really good memories in this league, honestly, was that game. And
first win.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. First win. One of my first road trips too. So, I didn't play very well in that game, but I made some big shots late in the game. And I just remember the environment being incredible. I remember like Klay Thompson was courtside, and there was quite a few big stars in the building for that game. So, really fun. Like, this is like whenever I get asked in like interviews and things, like what are some of my favorite places to play? Like, this is always one that comes to mind. So just super excited. It was obviously certainly hard to sit on the bench and have to watch last year, but my team played some good games here. So excited to be back and playing for this.
This is where the story shifts from locker room drama to speculation about possible future moves. When the Indiana Fever traveled to Los Angeles to face the Sparks on May 18th, Caitlin Clark appeared relaxed and confident. Before the game, she smiled, answered questions from reporters, and looked comfortable. On the court, she delivered one of her strongest performances in weeks, helping lead Indiana to an 87-78 victory with 24 points and 9 assists. But according to rumors that later surfaced online, there may have been more happening in Los Angeles than just basketball. Some reports have claimed that Clark had a private conversation with people connected to the Sparks organization. It is important to note that there has been no confirmed evidence of a trade discussion or any league-approved negotiations. The rumors are based largely on speculation rather than verified facts still. Once Michael Thompson publicly suggested that Los Angeles should pursue Clark, many fans started connecting the dots. From a basketball perspective, the Sparks do have pieces that make the idea interesting to some observers. Former Iowa teammate Kate Martin is now in Los Angeles, giving Clark a familiar face and a trusted friend. The Sparks also have young talent such as Cameron Brink, whose ability to protect the rim and stretch the floor fits well with modern basketball. Beyond the roster, Los Angeles offers other attractions, a major media market, strong marketing opportunities, and the appeal of Southern California. As a result, Some fans have imagined what a Clark-led Sparks team might look like. The key word, however, is imagined at this point. There is no confirmed indication that Clark wants to leave Indiana or that the Fever are interested in moving their franchise player. Much of the discussion is being driven by rumors, speculation, and the natural tendency of sports fans to explore blockbuster possibilities whenever a superstar's name enters the conversation. That has not stopped the debate from growing. But for now, the idea of Clark joining Los Angeles remains a theory rather than a proven reality.
I think there's some smoke over here. Now, I'm not necessarily saying a trade is going to get done, but I don't think the Indiana Fever are as fond of Caitlin Clark as that front office would like us to believe. You have Lynn Dunn also going out of her way, reposting things that Carolyn Peck has said before. And Carolyn Peck, we know how Carolyn Peck feels about Caitlin Clark. We know exactly how Carolyn Peck feels about Caitlin Clark. Carolyn Peck talking about the standard. Stephanie White yesterday talking about the standard. Lynn Dunn comes back today. The standard. It's going to be a very, very interesting situation to monitor. And will Adam Silver and Kathy Engelbert behind the scenes say, no, we got to get her to Los Angeles. Same way we had to get Luka to LA, we got to get Cece to LA and bring back, and start up the Showtime.
This is where the discussion moves beyond basketball and into the business side of professional sports. The Indiana Fever play in a smaller media market than cities like Los Angeles or New York. Despite that, they have one enormous advantage: Caitlin Clark, currently the biggest star and most recognizable attraction in women's basketball. That reality has led some people to wonder whether larger markets would be interested in building around a player with Clark's level of popularity. Los Angeles is often mentioned because of its massive media reach, sponsorship opportunities, and sports culture. The Sparks already have a historic WNBA brand, and the city sports landscape continues to attract major investment. Supporters of this theory argue that a superstar like Clark could help transform a successful franchise into a global sports brand. From a business perspective, the argument is easy to understand. A player with Clark's popularity can drive television ratings, ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and national attention. Putting that player in one of the world's largest media markets would naturally create enormous interest. However, there is an important distinction between a business theory and reality. There is no public evidence that league officials, team executives, or ownership groups are actively working to move Clark from Indiana. While some fans believe large markets would benefit from having a player of her stature, there is no confirmed indication that the WNBA is trying to engineer such an outcome. In fact, Clark's success in Indiana has also demonstrated something valuable for the league. A superstar does not necessarily need to play in Los Angeles or New York to attract national attention. Fever games draw major television audiences, sell out arenas, and generate headlines across the sports world regardless of market size. That is why the debate remains so fascinating. One side sees Los Angeles as the perfect destination for a global sports icon. The other argues that Clark has already proven a superstar can elevate an entire league from any market. For now, those conversations remain hypothetical, but they highlight how much influence Clark has gained, not only as a player, but as a business force capable of shaping discussions about the future of the WNBA itself.